everyone has a different learning styles. So, how do you present information so that learners or a group of trainees is learning effectively? And when is it appropriate to offer feedback or ask for a demonstration of your skills to ensure that students or trainees understand your message? Robert Gagne in 1916 and 2002 was an educational psychologist who pioneered the science of instruction in the 1940s. The book, The Conditions of Learning, first published in 1965, identified the mental conditions that are necessary for effective learning. Gagne created a 9-step process that detailed each element required for effective learning. The model is useful for all types of learning, and also it helps teachers to become more effective in teaching. Gagne's 9 levels of learning provide a step-by-step approach that can help educators, managers, trainers, and facilitators structure their training so that their students or teams get the most from their learning opportunities. Here are the 9 Gagne's levels of learning. First, level 1, gaining attention or reception. Start the learning experience by gaining the attention of your audience. This change in stimulus alerts the group that learning will soon take place. How we can apply this? We can apply this by gaining attention by raising the volume of your voice, gesturing, showing a short video on the topic of instruction, or using any other event that brings the period of waiting for the lesson to start to an end. Level 2, informing learners of the objective expectancy. Next, you must ensure that your team knows what they need to learn and what they understand while they're about to learn the new information. By applying this, explain to your students or team what they will have learned by the end of the session. Then, explain how their learning is going to benefit them and the organization. Level 3, stimulating or recall of prior learning or retrieval. When your people learn something new, match the new information with related information or topics they have learned in the past, relating the subject back to a similar experience your learners have or had builds a bridge from the old to the new. This link gives the learners a foundation upon which to learn the new content. By applying this, review any previous learning that you've done with your learners or team and apply it to what they're learning now. Also, ask your team if they have any previous experiences with the topic or if they have experienced the problems the training is trying to resolve. Then, make connections between what they are learning and their previous learning. How to implement? You can use a discovery method. Ask your learners for their previous experiences relating to your upcoming content. This will help to recall what they already know while helping personalize and apply the training at the very start. Level 4, presenting stimulus or selective perception. You've gained your learners' attention. You've gained information them to the subject matter, and you have them to relate to the subject. Now, it's time to present your new content to the learners. How to implement? Keep learners captivated by mixing up the content formats. The Academy LMS and the Knowledge Arcade can house a variety of different mediums. Here are some ideas of content you can share: white papers, infographics, images, tip sheets, webinars, presentations, animations, podcasts, and social forums. Level 5, providing a learning guidance or semantic encoding. To help your team or learners retain the information, provide alternative approaches that illustrate the information that you're trying to convey. Applying this, help your team learn more effectively by including examples, case studies, graphics, storytelling, and analogies. Level 6. Do you remember at school when your teacher went around the class and asked questions based on what they had just said as you were looking out the window? This is what you were doing. Your learners need to demonstrate they know the knowledge. Level 6, known as the eliciting performance or the responding. How to implement. You can create some quick fire quiz questions embedded in a unit. This way, the learner stays interested whilst absorbing content. Quizzes can be created using multiple choice questions, scenario-based questions, true or false, or a mix and match questions. Apply it if you have taught a new process or skill. Ask your people to demonstrate how to use it. Example, role-playing. Exercises can be useful for this. If you have taught a new information, ask questions so that they can show their knowledge. Level 7. After your learners or team demonstrate their knowledge, provide feedback and reinforcement any points as necessary. Once you have elicited performance, it is important you to communicate to your learners how will they perform. If they answered incorrectly, they need to know how they can improve. On the other hand, if they pass with flying colors, they deserve to be rewarded and encouraged. How to implement. You can provide positive and negative feedback depending on the answers. For example, if the learners gets the answer wrong, you can give constructive criticism, directing them in the right direction. If they get it right, then you can give them a big thumbs up. Level 8. Assessing performance or retrieval. You've informed your learners of their test results. Now, it's time to talk about retention as a formal way of ensuring retention. How to implement. Scenario-based quizzes are a fantastic way to check if your learners have retained the information. Dependent on the answers, you can sieve out any knowledge gaps and build on what to teach next. It may also be useful to provide further feedback after you have assessed their performance. Level 9. Enhancing retention and transfer or generalization. Gagne proposed that the final step to the learning journey is to put the learner in the position of an expert. If the learner can demonstrate they've absorbed the content by applying it to their job and by teaching others, then they can finally call themselves the wisdom warrior. This is what we refer as behavior change. How to implement. Bots are a great way to enhance retention. They encourage healthy competition with leaderboards, virtual bandages, and experience points. The quick-fire nature of battles also means they go in hand with mobile learning. Benefits of Gagne's model. Gagne's 9 levels of learning model gave trainers and educators a checklist to use before they engage in teaching or training activities. Each step highlights a form of communication that aids the learning process. When each step is completed, in turn, learners are much more likely to be engaged and to retain the information or skills that they're being taught. For more information, you may visit this link. Thank you for watching. I am Jessa Pedroso, a social studies student of Notre Dame of Kidapawan College. Bye-bye!